Yo, yo! What's up, good people? The post from the Fights and Geeks Zone. We're back again with another dope episode for y'all. As per usual, I'm Izzy.
I'm Real.
And today we're continuing with our MCU recap series. We're
Yeah.
going to be breaking down Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man 2.
Yes. So we're, still in our post, Endgame era. But it's also now our first sequel that we're dealing with. Right?
Post-Endgame.
Yeah, post Endgame, because Spider-Man, of course, started off during the Infinity War with Homecoming. Very high in our top 5. So big shoes to fill. As far as that whole sequel, expectation goes. And the big thing is, did this hit that sophomore slump? Did it not? But I think from my side, out the gate, I do want to say, countless times, I've mentioned Captain America is my favorite trilogy by quite a bit. And in terms of the Spider-Man trilogy, I'd say this is then where we step into the relatively weakest point.
Yeah.
That's my, take anyway. I don't know how you feel about that. And then, of course, we'll dive into the specifics of, why we feel that way.
Yeah, I did feel it was weaker than the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when you think about the next movie, No Way Home, it's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite stack up.
Yeah, but I guess different storytelling from second movie to third movie.
Yeah, we're covering different bases, but just as far as,
How it made you feel, how you much enjoyed
doing
it.
what it's meant to do as a movie, And might as well just get into the specifics of, some of the touch points that made you feel that way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like with Peter Parker or Tom Holland portraying Peter Parker, you always feel like he's a kid. And I guess you did feel it here, but I didn't feel it as much.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the kid with the weight of the world on his shoulders, and that's how I felt in Homecoming and what's it? No Way Home.
Okay.
And even in his appearances like Infinity War and Endgame. So I didn't feel that as prevalent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess for me it just didn't hit what I wanted a lot more. And I guess it's also, it's Spider-Man. It's what villain do you introduce now? Because in my opinion, he's got like probably the most villains.
Yeah, arguably the most interesting also.
Yeah, most interesting, but also varied as well. And we know a lot of them already that you can't really introduce because they're quite, he experiences them, and they experience him later on in his life.
Okay.
Yeah, so the introduction of Mysterio was interesting. How they portrayed it, I did enjoy.
Yes.
How they portrayed it, and Jake Gyllenhaal, you always give him his props.
Of course.
So like, look, it wasn't a bad movie by any stretch.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie, but when you're comparing it to the first one, it's big shoes to fill, and it filled them somewhat.
Yeah, I get you. And I think you make an interesting point. Say it's a very good movie. It's just that in the trilogy, it doesn't stack up that high. And I think another way to look at it as well is that trilogy aside, if we were to consider the MCU overall, yes, we do our own little running top 5, but it wouldn't be in the bottom half. If anything, maybe the bottom half of the great list type of thing.
I would say even like in middling. Like it'd be middling.
Yeah, so it's like whatever the greatest are, this is maybe towards the end of that list.
I would say even like a median basically.
Sure. Yeah. So the context, I guess, is very important overall. And I think from my end, maybe to try and speak to points you didn't necessarily mention. I don't even know if there are any, actually. Yeah, I think you pretty much hit, all of them. But the basis of it is, and I think that's why, look, it's the only Spider-Man that's, an Avenger, of course. But no matter what, when you are doing a solo Spider-Man movie, we would like it to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man type of thing. And if you think back to Homecoming, of course, we're not going to delve too deep into that. But at its base level, as much as we had a great villain, great, portrayal, all that stuff, but it was the dad. Not only was the guy, doing crimes in his area, but it's also the dad of the girl he was interested in.
In the neighborhood.
So it's very close, it's very, tight knit. And now this, I mean, they literally said, yo, where's Thor, where's so and so? It's
Yeah.
like, you're calling on
It's
the
like
Avengers
you're an Avenger now, yeah.
because of the level of threat that you're dealing with, which again is another way of saying it's so far removed from the neighborhood. Never mind them literally touring Europe,
Yeah.
quite a ways away from Queens.
Far from home.
Yeah.
The title didn't give it away.
Yeah, man. I don't know if, and I mean, look, yes, the next one in the, not even, I guess, trilogy technically for now, is No Way Home. But going further beyond that, there's a fourth Spider-Man movie that's going to be, dropping again. And I think there's that thing about Marvel movies where, and I'm trying to just quickly think outside of Spider-Man, where, okay, they do it. Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes perhaps they don't do the street level thing enough, but thinking back, I'm like, now and then they do actually touch on it, and, but yeah.
Not everything has to be the end of the world.
Not everything has to be, an Avengers level threat, which they literally mentioned in this movie. And in as much as I get that they were trying to tie it into the whole absence of Tony and then now stepping in on that level.
What is it they say? Heavy? What? Heavy's the head?
His phrasing in the uneasy,
like,
lies the head that bears the crown. Something along those lines. But you could have still carried that weight on a street level. Like, I mean, if he's struggling with such a massive villain, it makes sense. However, think of the impact it would have if he's struggling with the normal everyday villains because of the emotional weight of losing Tony. I think that would have hit slightly a bit harder. So I think, this is it's not that it was a bad movie. It's that what we expect from the character wasn't necessarily brought through,
maybe more, as you mentioned, more focus on being the incumbent.
Exactly. And as a result, do we feel perhaps that he was playing second fiddle in his own story?
Yeah, but I think that's what he wanted to do, because he didn't want to be an Avenger. He didn't want to be.
But by second fiddle, I mean even just in terms of the bigger points of the story. Yes, in
specifically in this movie.
Yeah, like how it was portrayed. Like, was he the not only the focal point, but was he as big a focal point as he's meant to be, given that it's his movie?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't.
So, things like that also just come into the mix where, and again, we acknowledge that Captain America, particularly like Civil War, it's like they do like a young Avengers 0.5, Avengers, 1.5 type of thing. But he's the leader of the Avengers. So that perfectly works fine. Not to mention, if we're going to be honest, I don't want to see a Captain America street level movie.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a solo of it, fine. We can go, the partial Avengers route. But Spider-Man, it works too well on its own. He
and
works too well on its own.
He's laid it out all throughout what we've known. It's like the Infinity War line. It's like, how do I save a neighborhood when there's no neighborhood to save?
Exactly. And it's like they've now saved the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So go and, keep the neighborhood safe going forward. So, I think that's arguably the biggest pet peeve. But I guess drilling a little further into some of the more specifics, we've touched on, Mysterio a little bit. And then, Jake Gyllenhaal. Again, dog, I don't know if this dude has ever given a bad performance in his life. Let's just start there. And I mean, he's a former child actor also.
Child star as well.
He had his own. There's 2 Bubble Boy movies. John Cho.
Bubble Boy.
And then he had. I remember he's like in his teens or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was way back. So consummate professional. If nothing else. And again, he definitely brought it. But what do you think of his story?
I liked his story. It was like, everybody has a gripe with their boss, no matter if it's a great boss or a bad boss. Like, that's the thing in life. Like, no matter how good your boss is, you're never gonna. It's your boss. It's the power dynamic. So it's lovely to see a different change, because everybody thinks of Tony as the savior and the messiah, but now they're showing the other side of Tony. And at the end of the day, what do they call it? The egotistical man-child or something like that.
He is still a billionaire at the end of the day. So, not everyone's going to be on his side.
So I really, really enjoyed that when they had the reveal scene. And it's and then they played like when they pointed at the guy from the arc reactor in the first movie. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then also like describing bath and like having that's you know what I mean? It's
And
like
his reaction in
it's
real
like
time.
it's my life's work, and he called it barf. You know
Come
what I
on,
mean?
man.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think like justified, but also like Tony could see it as well. He's a bit loony,
Yeah.
and it came across. He wanted to be grandiose and whatever, but
Yeah. You saw him going
Yeah.
nuts a couple of times. Yeah.
and so I think for what like if for me, if you didn't know who Mysterio was from the comics, whatever, it was a pleasant surprise to see that he is actually the villain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
And that's the part I love the most, you know. Might even be shared most because, again, like the portrayal and the story, like all of that, I think on par is just, you know, triple A.
Yeah.
Because for me, I knew of Mysterio, but I had no clue that is he a villain, is he whatever, like, you know.
Okay.
I remember I did watch the cartoons growing up, but I wasn't like, you know, a religious follower. So I was like, catch it if I catch it type of thing, you know. I literally still remember the theme song, Spider-Man, Spider, you know. But like, yeah, you watch it, you miss an episode here and there, whatever. But I had no clue about Mysterio. I remember always just finding his character design to be very cool.
Yeah.
And yet another thing, you know, to highlight where he's concerned, like the design in the movie.
The visuals, eh?
Oh, that costume was just everything, man. Damn
And the
it.
fact it was an actual tactile costume, not a CGI
thank
costume.
you.
Yeah.
You know, they just did the helmet, but that was it. And I'm like, that's fine. It did look pretty sick, you know, when it was on, but the suit itself. And that's the thing. I mean, even to divert quickly, if I look at the Iron Spider suit, I'm like, ish. You do see it has the sheen and whatever, but you can tell that it's you know, that nanotech, i.e., not tactile, not real type of thing. But the fact that he used more of his real suits, I'm like, yes, like you see the difference. So those type of things, man, to us, they mean, you know, the absolute world. And to have them, you know, have Mysterio wear a real suit also, it definitely added a fun little layer to his outfit. And I mean, you know my story, man, with villains, the motivation.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It was good. Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than this, you know, not only just a disgruntled employee, but like banding together all the disgruntled employees. Because again, to your point, what company has people who are 100% happy with where they are? We see it in real life as well, like whether it's just complaining
Even you
in
see
the team.
what is it, the big suck up or like the favorite employee is also
and
the
then
one who's got to
people are
grab
like,
it.
you know. And you also, again, whether it's just, you know, the gossip over tea time, or if it's just the exodus, people are like, hey, man, let's just bounce. There's a opportunity over there for us. And, you know, so, and it's like, this is doing that on the highest level, literally, you know. The one thing I do want to question and get your take on, what do you think about the plot to get the Edith glasses? You know, when watching this, I obviously know that he's going to get it, but I didn't recall, okay, but then, you know, what's the tie-in exactly? And then you mentioned that, oh yeah, of course they worked there, and then Margaret or whatever her name was, he found out that, Spider-Man is going to be, you know, the heir to the Edith glasses. I mean, okay, let's devise a plan to go get it.
Yeah.
But just that whole thing, like, does the plan make sense? Do you feel like, maybe it fell a bit short here and there?
Yeah, I think it is a bit convenient.
Yeah.
A bit convenient, but for the greater story, I can let it slide this time.
Sure.
Because like, I guess you Peter is lacking that father figure mentorship role, and then Mysterio kind of like comes along and plays that role. But like how he planned to get the Edith glasses was, I don't know. We didn't know too much of the plan, but I'm okay with that because that wasn't the core of the story, I guess, for me. It was more Peter figuring himself out and his tingle.
Yes, it's that flipping term. But I'm pretty sure I picked it up the first time I watched it, but this time it stuck out a bit more. You know, with anticipating it, I'm like, okay, let me follow this thing through and see how I feel. And I'm like,
it's like,
man,
it completely swerved us. Like, you wouldn't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you didn't know Mysterio was the villain, that specific scene where the bar changes.
So, and that's the duality for me. Like, the reveal of him being the villain, that one of my favorite elements ever, because which is, you know, what I was trying to build on earlier when I said I didn't know that he's a Spider-Man villain. So him coming in, I again knew nothing. So, hey, Quentin Beck from another world, I'm like,
multiverse, cool.
That's a story. That's okay. And then I'm like, he's the villain. Brought into all of that, but yeah, the how of it, I was like, Again, I like the whole thing of banding, the disgruntled employees together, but just everything together. Because even on the flip side of that, the handing over of the weapons of mass destruction to Peter Parker, I'm like, okay, I see why you wouldn't trust Nick Fury. Fine, but I mean, he's still a kid at the end of the day,
15,
man.
16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's more worried about the love of his life.
And out the gate, at least with the suit, he had the levels he had to go through, prove himself. So,
and he had the baby protocol?
Exactly.
Whatever, training wheels
the
protocol.
Training wheels. So stuff like, I'm like, but as you said, when
But then also in the movie they said he trusted you with it, but it's not necessarily
to
for
pick
you.
the right person. That flip I think was a good save when you said, for the next Iron Man, I trust you, whatever the
But
the
it's
thing
not
was.
necessarily Peter being the next
Exactly. It's like, I trust you to choose the person. It's like, oof, okay. Because again, I suppose, at the risk of arguing against myself, to your point around him being a kid, it's like the innocence that he held throughout the whole thing is like, he's going to be that much more crucial about choosing, who the guy is, in as much as he chose the wrong person. But you can still kind of justify the logic as far as why he was chosen as the custodian, not necessarily the person to actually wield the powers. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, Mysterio overall, I like
great portrayal.
The effects, the whole backstory. And again, now I'm like, watching it, waiting to nitpick and stuff. I'm like, okay, but how do you justify that? How do you justify that? So I'm like, oh yeah, but remember, the projectors are creating real damage, not just projections. And then over and above that, whatever the thing was, there's a technology that they said they were using to create the, for the seismology readings and stuff like that.
The
like,
electromagnetics and
the EMPs and stuff. I was like, okay, there's actual real world elements they're bringing into it. And then of course the fight itself being pure CG. So it's like, oh, that's how he's flying and stuff like that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's not even actually in the fight.
Nah, he's just chilling on the side there, being red lines and everything. I remember when he was like, why is it better than others? Like, yeah, no, they were like melted together, whatever. It was like, and Nick Fury was like, man, that's just some bullshit. Yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, Mysterio, top notch. And I like the finality of him being killed as well. Like,
but then that had unintended consequences as well, which was another
But that's the thing.
But it shows you how smart Mysterio actually was as well.
Planning ahead. And, it on its own, it had an immense impact, not just the death. But the fact that they leveled up from that, I remember at the cinema, dog. Like, I'm like, oi, oi.
First to see who's there on the screen.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
Of course, And then we all just chill like,
and then the reveal comes. Oh.
And the build up to it, dog, because there was a thing where they cut, because of course it's a propaganda manipulation.
Yeah,
so
it's
only
like
showed the bottom
you
half
don't
of Spider-Man's, and he's like, yes, execute them all. And I'm like, ish, they're framing him. Hey, okay, and they're like,
and then
Spider-Man's
it cuts to
identity is, and then that cuts through, and I'm like, hey, and then he's like, Peter Parker. I'm like, no, and they show his photo, dog.
Yeah.
Although
and
I
for
feel
me,
like
I love how they carried the running joke with the mother.
Oh yeah.
They didn't
It was like, oh mother, and then they cut it there. I think you said holy fuck for this one. Holy, and then but the building up of that, it's like one clip, and then the static in between. You think, okay,
and you think it's
gonna
cut there.
Yeah. That was pretty sick. Although for me, I feel like look again, amazing, great impact. But one thing that could have pushed it from 100 to 105 is he showed his class photo. He had his mask off already.
Oh, I guess.
So
in
just
the
a
suit.
snapshot of that, I think could have. But obviously, people still bought it either way. But yeah, that talking about twists, man. I think another super incredible one. Any words around Nick Fury? Damn near harassing this poor kid who's just trying to, again, 16-year-old, whatever, trying to live his high school. All he's caring about the whole time, dog. He left his suit back home.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do this.
Internationally, when they're like, oh, I catch flights, I don't catch feelings. He's like, I'm catching flights and feelings, dog. Forget the suit. I'm trying to, get my girl. Nick Fury's like, hey, man, the world is ending and I need you. Like, don't you be ghosting me, don't you? Even that whole thing about, look, I just want to go, MJ, the girl, this time, whatever. He's like, all right, fine. He's like,
and
what, really? And then he just hijacks the whole trip.
like my thing is like,
Yeah.
I don't wear my suit because they'll know I'm Spider-Man, and then
He's
they
like,
give him a
don't
all
worry.
black suit, and he's like that's gonna change anything.
They're like, we got you, son. We got contingencies on contingencies out here. So I'm like, Nick Fury, come on, man, But yeah, that was pretty funny. But I do like the dynamic as well, like.
Nick Fury is straight up. He's like, you wanted this.
Exactly.
Now I'm
It's
giving you what
time.
you want,
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
you don't want
Step
it.
up to the plate,
And that's it, right? Like Peter always wanted to be an Avenger.
Yeah.
And then Tony dubbed him an Avenger. Now he's an Avenger. He doesn't want to be an Avenger. So
And
like,
I mean,
and I get it. You're 16 or you're a teenager. Yeah.
yeah.
You don't know what you want, and when you do have it, you might not want it.
He's overwhelmed, but at the same time, I mean, look, on the one hand, he's fighting Captain America. The next, he's like out in space fighting aliens and whatever.
Fighting Thanos.
And yeah, literally. And then now it's this Mysterio and the elementals and whatever. So, but also the Avengers are not there for, the small time stuff anyway. So I do enjoy the dynamic. And fun fact, for Homecoming, they wanted Nick Fury initially to be the mentor figure. And then they pivoted at the last second, like,
Tony,
let's bring in Tony. So it's nice that they still actually stuck with that. They ended up just shifting him to a later movie as opposed to abandoning it because they had quite the fighty dynamic. They're in the bedroom after he,
with
tranquilized Ned. There was one, maybe two knocks too many for my liking, but his finishing line was dope.
Yeah.
Like, if one more person knocks out there, it's gonna be some problems. And it was like, hey, actually, let's get the heck up out of here. That was, but again, anytime they would interact with one another,
good
man,
fun.
like, it was always pretty dope.
Even Hill with her side comments.
I was literally gonna bring her in.
Her
like,
side comments were good.
a young little shout out, because now with all the movies, I mean, her last major one was probably Avengers. Wasn't she even in Civil War? It was one of the early Avengers.
She's just
like,
been a side
quite
character,
while, And so seeing her in this again, like, it made me realize how much I not only missed her presence, but how much I was yearning for her to have a bigger role the whole
And
time.
her and Nick and
their little
play off each
dynamic,
other,
the two of them. And Civil War is where I feel like I remember her definitely being there. Winter Soldier, I meant, Winter Soldier.
yeah.
And then since then, I don't know. So arguably the last time we saw her, and her coming to again could have had a stronger, better role, but I feel she does the little things so well.
Yeah.
Like the spot little
Maximizes her
appearances.
minutes,
Yes. She's always pretty dope. I mean, even over there, like, you got me. And then, she blew up that little projector. There's a drone, That was pretty sick to see as well. And then, you got your trusted, Spider-Man comic relief, Happy Hogan coming through, with the...
Even Ned.
Yeah. Ned. Actually, as soon as I'm like comic, I'm like, oh wait, there's two primary ones, but Happy Hogan is what I want to
I'm
focus
also
on
thinking
first.
of Flash as well.
And then there's Flash as the funny little antagonist there in school. He's like, he likes Spider-Man and hates Peter Parker. Little does he know,
One in the same,
duality is hella funny. And that little on-off or whatever the hell it is relationship that he has with Aunt May, particularly that conversation is that, are you guys like, yes, no, maybe, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No, but he straight up said he loved Aunt May when they were all confessing. I was like,
he said, I'm in love with the Spider-Man's aunt or whatever. And I'm like, hey, you're revealing the secret because now they're gonna, put two and two together. But it's always fun seeing him, man.
He played a really cool mentor figure as well.
Yeah, the bridging entity, if you will, between
because he was like,
the absence now of
like,
Tony and...
because it's when Spider-Man was at his lowest. Now it's like, why did they give me the glasses? Like, Tony couldn't live up to himself.
Yes.
You don't have to live up to him.
That speech was actually
that
quite
line,
amazing.
hey
man, let me tell you, you're never going to be Iron Man. Like, you never be able to live up to it. Who can? Not even Tony.
And Tony doubted himself, but he didn't doubt giving you the glasses. Like, what a stamp of
Yeah,
approval. What a
he's
stamp.
like,
What a stamp.
the one thing he was sure about, was choosing you. He was like, man, actually, that's pretty powerful. I really felt, as we said, at his lowest. I mean, he just got the reveal about Mysterio, but that came through at the moment where he was about to reveal his feelings to MJ. And there was a twist about her, kind of figuring out who he is,
but
now realizing that they're in danger. He's gotta go and save them because he just gave the keys to the kingdom to the villain, and that villain just tried killing him. So all these things just happened, And he's like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, hey, Happy, please come and help me. And he's just like, yeah, man. Because he was like, hey, sorry, come down with the, suturing there on the stitches, and he was trying to, put on his back. And he's like, stop telling me to come down. I can't come. And he just breaks down. And I'm like, and those are the scenes whenever I talk about, Tom Holland just being amazing. Yeah, class A example. And that's the thing I love about him. Every single movie, he proves me right in saying that. It's not a matter of, no matter which movie you find enjoyable more than the others and whatnot, he will always do what he does best. He shows up every single time. And like I said, no matter who he's up against, like the best of the best, he just does his thing, all time reliable. So I think on the emotional side, yes, the stakes were there, but I love how he also just always made sure to bring them through. And at the same time, Mysterio also upped the ante by, just straight up saying, because he got the names of the people that he told. He's like, okay, I'm going to go kill them. And I'm like...
16-year-old kid now.
Yeah, dog. That's the other thing I love about his character, I didn't mention, like the obsession that he had. Like, he was like that madman obsessed, but he portrayed it very well. It didn't seem like cliched or someone who just lost his
over
mind.
the top,
Yeah, dog. He definitely came through quite brilliantly on that front. Any other specific touch points you want to mention?
Let's see, what are we going through there? Yeah, no, I really like the CGI.
Yes.
Yeah, must give that a shout out. Those storm scenes and the elementals, really.
Yeah. Even the hallucinations, if you will.
Oh, yes, and the mind-bending trippiness,
If there was one, and look, we've mentioned, Shang-Chi being among them, but there's a few other CGI scenes that look amazing, say on like IMAX and whatever, but don't translate as well, watching it on TV.
I didn't feel that this way.
This was crisp and pristine, dog. Like, all the different things, like, it'll be like a drone, he's like trying to web and go towards, and then he ends up hitting a wall. And then there's like the house of horrors, mirrors all over the place, and there's like the bunch of mysterious, whatever the effect was, even just that whole thing of if you jump on this, it turns into that. If you, dog, like I really felt I was like in there with him, so it was like trippy in the best way possible, and I know we highlighted it with the Doctor Strange review, but I feel like this was done way better than even that. Partially because it was such a self-contained scene, whereas with Doctor Strange, there's the real world that you have to consider and bend and all of that stuff. So this is like, no, we're going full on CGI, but we're going to make sure everything looks crisp. So I think, not to mention, it also highlighted what Mysterio was doing to him, like
I guess it's his whole power. You can't make his power look wonky.
Exactly. So all that looked amazing, man. Even the train hitting him, like it's always just such a nice little jump scare, when that comes through. So shout out to them. They definitely did their thing on that one, and I like the integration, for lack of a better word, as far as like whenever he was webbing around, particularly with like the drones, like he jumped into that illusion. He's like, it's not real. He jumps in, and then it's just drones all over. But everything, man, like the choreography, if you will, of the fight looked pretty dope. Like trying to web them together and then zap them. It looked hella smooth, because the problem with CGI is that the one area where to this day it's still a pain to get right is the fluid movement.
The motion,
the motion when it comes to like flight and all those sort of movements. And I'm like, man, in here there wasn't a single step that they missed. So
and then the little Easter egg, they made him look like Captain America for a little bit there.
Which part is it with the
with like
that sign that
the sign and the bar? I was like, guys, no, don't do that.
I love it was such a grassroots moment, because even if you think of Homecoming, when he lost his original suit and then he went and when he lost the Tony Stark suit, then he went under the locker and picked his old track suit. So even here, as much as he still had his suit, but the fact that he was out of web shoot is like, fine, I'll just grab whatever I can. So that whole thing of like, that's where Spider-Man came. Remember the tech, all that stuff came later. And
Yeah.
that's the essence of
And-
Spider-Man. It's always just been the heart.
And that's
that
the
he
thing, right?
has.
At the beginning of the movie, he says, "I'm really strong and sticky," and that,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know.
that's all I have, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something
Yeah.
with it, you know. So
Um,
yeah, man, I like the can-do spirit and just not giving up. And no matter what's happened, like he'll just be there with the saddest face and just
Still
and a
have to
little
do
bit
it,
of
yeah.
blood, but he's like, I'm not gonna give up. I can't quit. My people need me. So ish, man, yeah, that dog in him that he has,
Yeah.
always comes through, you know, quite beautifully. Anything else you wanna?
Yeah, I
give
mean the
mention to?
one you we were talking about Happy and his heart to heart, but even just that the scene
Oh,
when
yeah,
he's
yeah,
making
yeah,
the
yeah.
suit and it's just like heartstrings, right?
Yeah, taking it back to Tony doing that, of course. And what I loved about that scene, I'm not sure if it started to me before. I think before I was more on some, don't now shoehorn him into Tony that way,
Yeah.
especially after saying he isn't
Yeah.
Tony. But what stuck out to me, again, it's almost like it's like the tech level of grassroots. Remember, he had his tracksuit suit, fine. Then Tony gave him the other suit. He just had to learn what was in there. Now he's manufacturing the stuff himself. Because even the Iron Spider suit, Tony just gave it to him and then it comes with what it comes
Yeah.
with. This one, he's configuring every
own,
little
yeah.
thing. He's like, yeah, increase the power like by 0.5 fold. Yeah, this way we make sure that I can, you know, zap this. And I'm like, yeah, add this. I'm like, ooh, that
Yeah.
configuration, right? Speaking of configuration, even just the line up, when he started to
Yeah.
show me everything Spider-Man,
And you see Tony had options for him.
it also felt reminiscent to like video games and stuff. Yeah, when you see which ones have you collected, and then you know as you advance and gain XP points, you can then customize yourself. So I like that little connection to that side of things. You know, so it's like yeah, finally. Not to mention it's also back to the whole point of not necessarily that you need to be the next Tony, but either way, step up, be your own man.
Yeah.
And now he's setting up his suit the way he wants it. And of course, in the next scenes, you see those things
Yeah.
come into play. Like I noticed the little parachute.
Yeah,
that
the
had
squirrel
web.
suit. Yeah, the squirrel suit. Yeah.
And also like the when he was parachuting, remember the initial one? I can't remember how exactly it looked, but now the parachute looks like a spider.
Oh, okay,
So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a new design one. And then of course like I mentioned
tasers,
electric, electric waves and stuff like that. I'm like, oof, yeah, nice little. Not necessarily coming of age, but like coming to his own type of
Yeah,
thing.
and I liked it. Like he kept inspiration from the first suit, and you know he kept the
He built
inspiration
on
and he
it.
built his own one.
Yeah. That was pretty sick. That Iron Man song, is it AC/DC or
It's
is it
AC/DC, yeah.
Okay, so he was wrong when he said
yeah,
Led Zeppelin.
it's a joke. Like
Okay.
it's like he's so young, he knows what it is.
Yeah,
but
Plus, I mean, they had mentioned before where he's like, he said you're not going to get this because it's not a Star Wars
Yeah.
reference. So, okay. I was like, man, am I bugging or what? I'm pretty sure it's, you know, yeah. And then we did mention a few of, you know, the not so great moments in the movie. I don't know. Oh, maybe before you even get to that, the dynamic of MJ and Peter, like how
I
do you
mean,
like the evolution?
it flooded into real life. Do I need to say more?
I will always say like the chemistry that they have.
And
is, man,
they're so good at that awkward teenager chemistry as well.
yes,
Yeah, you know?
yes, and that's the thing. Like at that, I mean, hell, people now like their 30s, whatever. When it comes to that, it still can get you a little awkward and weird. We'll see some of like you know the most gangster toughest dudes when it comes to
When his
it's-
lady comes, it's like, ish.
Yeah, you become a little So I mean, now at 16, that's like that on 100. So I like the way they always just show that that side of their personalities as well. They just fit well together, and you know.
Yeah, and it always comes across on the screen. So
It's just pretty dope, man. And of course, like the little side romance, the
Yeah,
what you know,
love
called,
triangle,
the summer love or whatever with
Ned and Betty.
and that other girl, yeah. And speaking of whom, a quick little shout out to. So it starts off with like the homage to, I guess, the blip, and they explain what happened and whatnot. I love it's like a mixed production of that because of course it's like CGI and whatever, it's like high tech. But I noticed little things here and there because they were showing pictures of the people that were paying tribute to. You know, it's Iron Man, Captain America, Natasha. And then they showed a picture of just candles, but it said they're Getty Images. So I'm like, okay, I see you. And then, because the dude was on the left and the girl was on the right, above the girl, ever so slightly, you see the boom mic pop into the shot.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it is a little high school thing at the end of the day. It's like, okay, those small little, you know, even when the guy swore and the girl looks at him like, hey, man, and he's like, it's the last day of school, man. I was like, you know, So yeah, that I was like, oh, that's such a cute
Yeah.
little scene. But yeah, anything else where you felt, okay, maybe it felt a bit short or didn't hit as hard as it was supposed
Yeah,
to?
I mean, as I mentioned, I don't know, like, I feel like I needed more of the coming of age, if you will, like
On
the
whose part?
the filling of shoes into I don't know. So like I wanted more to explore more of the relationship between Tony and Peter. I would have liked more of it.
But-
it's not to say I didn't like what was given was fine, but I would have
get
just
what
liked
you're
more.
saying. I'm just wondering if perhaps this is also maybe the motivation
Yeah.
for them not going as hard is we've seen that. I mean, we've hardly seen Spider-Man without Tony. So they've been building on
So
that.
they
Unless if you
kind of
maybe-
want him to be his own man now.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Unless if you're maybe touching on just the fact that now that he's gone,
Yeah.
what is it that?
Yeah. So now that he's gone, how is
Yeah,
that void being filled now?
Yeah, because it was kind of like straight to action, so to speak. You know, even when they showed him at school, like he was just all in love,
Yeah.
happy for MJ. They weren't really like, you know, those broody type of, okay, that I can kind of sort of see. But
Yeah, but other than
for
that-
me, I would say when it did come through, because of how hard it came
Yeah.
through, I'm like, okay,
Okay, yeah.
you're maybe suppressing it and, you know, kind of distracting yourself with these other things as opposed to it just not being there at all. you
Yeah,
know. So
fair
I think,
enough.
yeah, it didn't stand out as much for me. Otherwise, yeah, on my end, again, a couple too many convenient, you know, slash convenient moments for my liking, but I feel like the strong points more than made up for all of that at the end of the day. And to tell a great story and then finish it with such an amazing cliffhanger, to
Yeah.
have us still clamoring and wanting
We
more,
want the next one.
beyond just I want another Spider-Man
Yeah.
movie because I like Spider-Man. I think that was played out so amazingly because a lot of the times also when they have cliffhangers, immediately your mind knows how they're gonna try and work it back. You're like, they'll probably do this, they'll probably do that. Whereas this one is like, yo, your secret identity just got exposed to the whole world.
Yeah, what now?
What the hell are you gonna, you know? So yeah, I love that it left us not knowing what direction they're gonna follow, but you know you wanna see it, you know. And I mean, you did mention, of course, the return of the great, you know, J. Jonah Jameson. I believe they said J.K. Simmons, they wanted him to have like, you know, the original wig and whatever.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, no, man, this is late in life. Like,
Yeah.
show where he's at now.
And it shows like he's a tabloid now,
Yeah,
like
like,
.net.
got his little,
yeah,
like, you know,
it's like this like
podcast
you know,
type thing
yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah, because I mean, the day of the newspaper, you know, even if newspaper, or not even if they are still around, but I mean, he wouldn't necessarily be in the position for this long because they're gonna boot him out, get the new kid in, that type of thing. But he's like, hey man, I'm about journalism, so I'm still gonna do this thing. So yeah, I love that. And not to mention, I don't think we touched on this ever. Like the fact that, look, yes, he's back, and then there's the exposure, but the fact that he did the exposing,
Yeah.
like I think. I don't know if it's ever been properly acknowledged
I
because
feel like
remember he's always had a thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, he's a menace and all of that stuff, you know. So
So I wonder if there was a bit of a backstory before the exposure.
how so?
Because like first movie, second movie, they don't mention Daily Bugle at all. You know what I mean? Like if he's always had that beef with
I think
Spider-Man, or
yeah.
Quentin Beck sent it specifically to him because it's like a tabloid newspaper, and he would.
I think
Yeah,
even
but-
if again, and they'll never really get into
Yeah,
this in the
and you
movies,
don't and
but
you don't have to.
yeah, I think it's just tying into what we know.
Yeah,
the
that helps,
relationship
yeah.
to be between, you know, J. Jonah
Yeah,
Jameson
it's kind
and
of like for
Spider-Man.
us.
Yeah, it's
People
like a
watch
fan
the- watch
service
the
type of
first,
thing.
yeah, the
and I can imagine probably
Raimi
translates
trilogy,
to I don't know how heavy it was in the comics and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
If it was as contentious, but if you're aware of that on any level, then I think this becomes like. And again, fan service is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
There are ways to do it brilliantly, and this I
Not
think,
overdo
is
it, yeah,
like,
it's just perfect. Yeah.
a prime example of that. I think from my side, yeah, man, I've said all I want to
Yeah,
say.
I think for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, you know, dope story. It's just that, you know, big
As you
shoes to
mentioned,
fill
big
overall.
shoes, and then conveniences within the
Yeah,
storyline.
certainly certain moments that, you know, aren't as strong as they could have been, but would be more than happy to watch
Yeah.
it like again and
Yeah.
again. It's a fun,
Yeah, it's fun,
self-contained
yeah.
story also, you know. Out of 10, what are you giving it?
Like 7.5.
Yeah, I think I'm on 7.5 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been debating between 7 and 8. So yeah, 7.5. Top five, don't think
No,
we're gonna,
it's not gonna-
it's not
not
gonna crack the top five.
Yeah.
But yeah, a young refresher on there. So number one is Infinity War.
Yeah.
We've got Iron Man 1.
Yes.
Number 2, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming.
Homecoming,
Number
yeah.
3, we've got Avengers
Endgame,
Endgame
yeah.
and Captain America Civil
Civil
War.
War.
Number 4. And then number 5, we've got Captain America
Winter
the Winter
Soldier,
Soldier. Yeah. And that brings us, to the conclusion of this particular review. Shout out definitely for sticking around
Yeah.
this long. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, drop us a comment. Follow us on Instagram, the Phantom Geek Zone. And stay tuned, man, as far as what's gonna come next on
Yeah.
PGZ.
All right. Peace.
Peace.